Hey, what's up YouTube? I've got for you one of the sexiest knives that I've collected to this date, and it is of my Chris Reeve Mnandi with Mammoth bark or Mammoth Ivory bark inlay. And the reason I include the bark in there is because the box that it came in shows Mammoth bark inlay, but the birth card shows Mammoth Ivory bark. So if you guys know the difference between the bark and the Mammoth Ivory, is the ivory is supposed to be the core of the mammoth tusk, and then the mammoth bark is supposed to be the outer shell of the mammoth tusks. So on those bark inlays, you get a lot more coloration. You got a lot of browns and almost orangish color, even sometimes green color on that bark, and it's just there's so much character in those inlays, almost too much character, but it's beautiful. And the ivory, you got a very cream colored. You do get a little bit of brown in there, but you get that very cream colored, and texture or lack of texture. It's very smooth and it's very beautiful. And I think the contrast compared to the titanium scales is just beautiful. This makes, this is to me the quintessential gentleman's knife. And I said this in, some of my reviews, that the Sebenza 21, whether small or large, is the quintessential folding, EDC folding knife. And I think the Zan is kind of like the quintessential utility, kind of harder use knife, even though it's pretty much, I would say, the same as the Sebenza in terms of its uses and that kind of stuff. I actually traded my Zan for this knife, and I'm really actually happy about that trade, even though I missed that Zan like crazy. This knife, it's one that I've always wanted to try out, and the fact that it came with the Mammoth, whether bark or ivory inlay, I was like, man, that's a deal that's I can't pass up. And to have a gentleman's knife of this kind of quality, for weddings or even funerals or whatnot, this is an amazing knife to have. In comparison, to some of these are some of the smaller knives that I have. They're not necessarily gentleman's carry knives, but I typically carry smaller knives if I'm in a gentleman's carry situation. For the largest one, obviously, is the Spyderco Velotin here. This is a 4-inch blade with a 4mm stock S30V. The handle on this blade is just huge, super thick, super chunky. But with the polish and all that stuff of the handle and of the blade, I think this does make for a good gentleman's carry, but it is very large compared to the Mnandi here. So that knife, and then I've got the SJ75 from Strider. So what I consider Strider's kind of first attempt at a kind of a gentleman's carry knife. I think this is a great looking, gentleman's carry with the dimpling and all that kind of stuff here. So the SJ75, the Sage 1 is one that I've carried with the wire clip. It's very inconspicuous with the weave carbon fiber. It's very beautiful. It's got a nice leaf-shaped blade, and it's not really intimidating to carry as a gentleman's carry. Down here, you got my Dragonfly G10. So again, this is not necessarily a gentleman's carry, but as a small knife and very capable knife, this is one I like to carry in kind of light use settings. And then the Martin Tejas here is one that I'm going to keep out here in this review, because I do want to make some comparisons to the Mnandi, because this is one that I would actually really consider. I think these three basically are ones that I'd really consider, along with probably the Sage, as really good gentleman carry options. Again, one with the look of the carbon fiber, I think is really classy. But in particular with these two knives, they're very similarly sized. This is a 2 1/4 inch blade. This is a 2 3/4 inch blade. This knife is 1.5 ounces, so this is like super crazy light, you know, and you just kind of throw this into its sheath here, the little leather sheath it came with, and stick that in your suit pocket or whatever, and it's totally inconspicuous, and it's not going to be in the way of anything. So this, yeah, I really see how this is a perfect gentleman's carry. These two, you know, are ones that you'd kind of clip on your pants and all that kind of stuff. But these two could really just disappear on yourself, and you would just forget that they were there. So anyway, I'm gonna set these aside really quick, and you know, the other thing about this knife is it's a .09 inch blade stock. This is S30V. This is a 2005 model Mnandi. And you know, on here the Martin Small Tejas is a .125. So the same blade stock as a Sebenza, as an Emerson, you know, is on this here. So you can see, you know, with this short, you know, of a blade, it's got a very thick, chunky blade stock, and so it's very capable if you need to, in the gentleman's carry. You know, if you need a harder use knife, any kind of, you know, light prying and that kind of stuff, I could see how this would hold up. Both are obviously, you know, full titanium scales. You know, these titanium scales here, it's a titanium frame lock. They're both titanium frame locks. This has the inlay to make it just, you know, much more ornamental. You know, with the pin with Chris Reeve's, you know, logo here, the pocket clip with Chris Reeve's logo right there. You know, a lot of detail work. The fluting on this pocket clip, the beautiful inlays, the polish of the titanium. So all around the inlays, the titanium is polished, and then once you get to the cutout here on the lock bar, you know, it's sandblasted like a normal Sebenza, and then over here again it's all polished around here. So it just kind of glows around this inlay, and again that contrast I was talking about, you know, is really beautiful. You got a nail nick for deployment, and it can be opened, you know, one-handed. Pretty easily. You know, you just kind of dig your thumb right into that nail nick and it just opens. It's so smooth, it just deploys effortlessly. But it's not a knife that you could flick out or anything like that. So you know, for a gentleman's carry, a true gentleman's carry, you know, I would just open it up with two hands, and you know, you could do any kind of cutting and all that kind of stuff. But you know, for a knife like the Martin, you know, this is one you could flick out, and it's got this really big thumb stud on here. It's got hard cut jimping as well. You know, it really just, your thumb digs in there, and you got a lot of purchase, you know, on here. It's not going anywhere when you're, you know, if you're digging in here. Sorry about that focus right there. Jeez. And then, you know, again, thick titanium slabs. It's got that little thumb hump right here for deployment of, or for actuation of the lock right there. And you can just fold it right up, and that's perfect. This is S30V here. A fully bead blasted knife, you know, and this kind of like larger pocket clip. This is kind of like a, I don't know how to, like a gentleman's tactical almost, but I would have no issues carrying this in a gentleman's carry situation. But when you compare it to the Mnandi, just with how ornamental this knife is, I mean, it kind of reminds me of a William Henry, I guess. William Henry knives, you know, with all the jewels and all the ornamental type, you know, things that they include onto the knife, you know, they make them very beautiful, and they're great. They're really great knives, but they're super expensive. So the price of this, I think, is more worthwhile, and I think, you know, as a gentleman's carry, I think this is going to be just as good, or if not better, than a William Henry. So, anyway, overall, I just think that this is a phenomenal, like I said in the very beginning, you know, quintessential gentleman's carry folder. You know, these two knives right here. You'll never go wrong. I'm a firm believer of that now. You'll never go wrong with Chris Reeve, no matter what you pick. I've never tried their fixed blades, but those look awesome. Now that I've tried the Tylock, I've tried the Sebenza, small and large, I've tried the Umnumzan, and I've tried the Mnandi, and every single specimen has been flawless, perfect in every single way. So, if you're new to the knife collecting and you've heard about Chris Reeve, I would say don't even waste your time. In some sense, I mean, yeah, I've wasted my, or not wasted my time. I've collected other things and I've enjoyed collecting other things, but you know, if you were to say, I just want one knife that's going to be able to do it all, you know, that one ring to rule them all, you know, Sebenza or the Chris Reeve collection is the way to go. So, anyway, yeah, so that's my thoughts of the Mnandi. This is just an awesome gentleman's carry knife, and yeah, I don't know, man. I'll see, you know, when I carry this, how it fares. I'm definitely much more of a, you know, large folder type knife guy. You know, I like having a substantial blade in my pocket kind of thing. But yeah, like I was saying, for like a wedding, for really special circumstances, the Mnandi I think would be the perfect selection for a gentleman's carry. Alright, so let me know what you guys think about this review, about this knife in particular, and appreciate all you guys' comments and subscriptions and all your support as I've been doing these reviews. Alright, so you guys take care, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks, bye.